received the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. Alright guys, it's time to begin the game. Alright, let's watch this cutscene.
Stanley worked for a company in a big...
1 second, I need to adjust my audio.
building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk.
Alright guys, this is Stanley Purple. Okay, it's Stanley. I think that's who I'm playing as.
Desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year.
You're getting paid pretty good for to do that, Stanley.
Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in.
Well, that's pretty cool, Stanley.
Exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Oh, that's cool. Stanley was happy.
And then one day, something very peculiar.
One day, something very peculiar happened.
Changed Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow.
Okay, that's wacky. Why has nothing appeared on his monitor? No one has appeared. No one has showed up to work.
Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Yes, guys, I am playing, but I just want to see what happens if I just hang.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Yeah, I think that's wrong. I think he can find a trace of his co-workers. I just think he's not trying. Alright, guys. This playthrough is going good so far.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Alright, fans, which one should I go through, left or right? Even though the narrator just said I go through the left, but do I want to go through the left? That's a good question. Alright, I'll go through the right, guys.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yeah, I did want to stop by the employee lounge first.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Should I take the first open door on my left or keep going straight? It told me, the narrator said I go to the first open door on the left, but do I though? Alright, if you say so.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Okay, that was rude to say, man. Why are you surprised he said that he was surprised that I was not fired years ago, man. Jeez Louise. Because he says I'm not good at following directions.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why,
yes.
I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Now how do I know that you're doing something good. You're telling me to walk through the red door, but you're saying that you're not trying to do it, that I don't trust you. And you think that you think that I think that you're trying to lead me to something bad. But the thing is, how do I know you're not leading me to something bad? Like, should I go through the red door or the blue door? He said go through the red door. He said I did go through the red door, but I didn't. Should I, though? Should I listen to him now? Alright, if you say so. Fine, don't watch my stream,
thank God
jeez.
you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you
I don't
to be
actually know if he
happy
can
all
because
this
he didn't tell me.
time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running.
I trusted you, and now I'm just going in a
now.
circle.
Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Which door do I go through? I'll go to this one.
What do we want? What are we looking for? Here.
Ooh, what's this?
Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we
What's
just
this?
stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley,
Should I stay here?
I feel happy.
What do
I
you
actually
think?
feel
No?
happy. No, wait. Where are you going? Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
How do I know the game will reset?
Please,
Why should I
no,
believe you?
Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think
Should I
about
do
what
it?
you're doing.
Peace out, game.
No!
Oh, I didn't die.
Thank God. You... No. No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
Peace out, world.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me? Yes.
I'm walking slower now.
Perhaps you can. Perhaps you finally see what I'm talking about.
Psych. I ain't going back. Should I go back?
My God.
Fine.
Is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this
I
platform
like
over
your
and over
game.
to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
Jin, you said that you wouldn't watch my stream if it wasn't in between the 1 to 2 hours.
This place, you can see that, can't you?
I would have played a few, but you said you were not going to watch my stream if it wasn't between the 1 to 2 hours. That's why I'm streaming. I don't even know what you just said.
No, perhaps not.
Why don't you just play Red Dead of Slug? Jeez Louise. Oh, how do you know? He's not even here. Yeah, but he's not even here. Yeah, but he's not even here. He's making a pizza, okay? Jeez, be patient.
Maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know.
I know, I was joking. Jeez
I just
Louise.
wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours. Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. "I'm dreaming!" he yelled. "This is all a dream." Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing
Yes, it's
buttons.
this game.
I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of the world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job.
Because he closed his eyes.
My life exactly the way it's always been.
Jeez Louise, pay
my
attention.
life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
There's no way you can hear yourself.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind.
I didn't die.
I know what is real and what isn't.
Oh wait, did I?
It was comforting to think this.
Oh shucks, man. I just beat the game.
Made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important.
It's not supposed to be that short.
Of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
I think that's one of the patrols.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Maybe I just maybe I don't want to go to the meeting room. Ever thought about that? Huh? Jeez Louise.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track. But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here, it's, left. Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Brother doesn't know.
Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way. No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay.
What the hell is this place?
It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time
This is where you stream?
this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time,
how many games do you stream each time?
Okay, from the top.
Oh my gosh.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley... Wait, what? No,
oh, wait, there's more doors.
I definitely restarted the game.
There's more doors.
Fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change?
There's way more doors now.
Did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors?
No.
Did you move the story somewhere or...
No.
Hold on. Why am I
You
asking
did.
you? I'm the one who wrote the story.
Exactly.
It was
That's
right
what I'm
here just a
saying.
minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay then, it's an adventure. Come, Stanley, let's find the story.
Let's go this way. Actually, I don't want to go in there. I want to go here. Oh, let's go through here. Let's go here. Yeah, let's go through here. Oh, yeah, let's go through here. Oh, yeah, let's go through here. Wait a minute. Let's go through here.
I'll say
Wait
it.
a minute.
This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not? All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong.
There's
It's
no
possible
doors
the
now,
story is
Jordan.
back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction
Okay.
and see if we missed anything?
Oh, okay.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Okay, what the flap?
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct?
Wait,
Do you
the door I
remember,
came through
Stanley?
is gone.
Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations!
I won the game.
I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so...
Wow, that was
good
an easy
job.
game. I won, Gene.
No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win.
I did.
Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
I did please.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the
Okay.
help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just
Okay.
follow the line. How simple is that? You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though,
I don't know.
here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm really liking this.
Cut the music, go back and look at that fern.
Oh, where?
Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story.
Okay.
Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
I took a screenshot, don't worry. Guys, remember that fern. Oh.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No, No, no.
You know, excuse
Line.
us.
You do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Oh.
Oh, no, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I
The
can't
line,
take this anymore. To hell with it.
the word
Restart.
line in this game is trademarked. That's what it said in the
I say forget
titles.
the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we
No.
make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Maybe. Maybe you might be on something. Maybe you're not. Who knows? Let's go through this direction, though.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our
stop going in
story to
circles.
be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it. Oh, no, not you again.
Oh, look, it's a line.
Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine. Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In
Where
fact,
should I go?
believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute.
Okay.
So I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits. Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion.
Oh, you've been playing the confusion ending for 17 minutes.
That's what this is. It's all one giant ending. And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this
Not bad.
thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen?
Oh, I don't know.
So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a story. Wouldn't you agree?
No.
I'm quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey. Though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So
Life is a
that's
wonder,
where
never
we are
the
right
answer.
now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
Oh, what the hell? I am not gonna move. Can't make me. Can't make me move. It's fine, I'll move. Jeez Louise.
all of his co-workers were gone, what could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
He took a 2 to 3 hour run out.
We've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
What? Jeez Louise.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the...
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
I feel like that means that you're like actually ducking instead of like
This
just
is a very
sleeping up there.
sad story about the death of a man named Stanley. Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
That's a girl. No. You know what? No. I'm not gonna press it. You can't make me.
But in his mind, in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen.
Remind me of my childhood.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice.
Because
it barely even
people
mattered
be
what
people.
lay behind each door. The mere thought
And I'm
that
just
his
listening to
decisions
this
would
guy
mean
talk.
something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with
What the hell?
monitors
Why is
and
there
mind
like stuff on the floor?
controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
that's gameplay.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head, he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer.
Oh.
How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets. The more he forgets.
It's started to look like my office more.
And I'm trying to tell him this. That in this world, he can never be anything but an
No, I
observer.
even see my office.
That as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Alright. You said not to do it, so I won't. Jeez. Well, there was a narrator at the start, and then he is telling you, he's like Stanley walks through the left door, and I either walk through the left door or the right door, and I can listen to him, and then and if I do something wrong, if I keep going further, and I got into this room where it was cameras all over the office and everything, and it restarted the game, and then everything was different, and the door in the room that had the two doors that they picked from actually had doors all over the walls. And he's like, wait a minute, this wasn't here before. And he's like, what the heck? And he restarted the game again, and then there was no doors in that room, and it's like a...
You see? Can he just not hear me?
Dude, I didn't press the button for so long, and nothing was happening, so I pressed the button. Okay, jeez.
How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Pop-Tart. Why would I react to that?
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more
You
free
said it
to
multiple
think for
times,
himself,
that's why I'm not
to question the
reacting.
nature of his
I
job.
reacted the first
Why did he
time, but
feel
it was
this
quiet.
now, when for years
It
had never
was
occurred
it
to
was
him?
like a
This question would not go
was like a-
unanswered for long.
it was a sigh. But
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large
Oh,
door that
mind
read
control.
Mind Control Facility.
guys, mind control facility, escape. Escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Hmm?
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Fine. Don't watch.
But of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for.
I was joking.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number.
This
of
makes
an
it easier
employee
to
in the
kill
building,
people.
Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. And
Basically, it
Stanley,
just makes
one of them, eternally
gun game
monitored
easier.
in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Can you just not?
No. He refused to believe it.
Oh yeah, it's the camera room.
It. His own life in someone else's
This is each
control?
employee.
Never.
This is a camera for
It was
each employee.
unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy
Yeah.
or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Oh my god. Landed at the base. Idiot, no plan.
Brother thinks he's gonna win. Brother thinks he's gonna lose. That's why I said he thinks he's gonna win.
When at
and I
last
think
he
he's
found the
gonna lose.
source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place, and to Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself? Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification,
did he drop shot?
Detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going.
How do you not know who that is?
I barely know where to start.
How do you not know who that is?
What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are?
Your cousin Ashton.
A moment of solace before you're obliterated. All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened.
You do know I say show.
I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here. Just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully?
Jin, you camping?
Choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Uh-oh.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself. That's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all. Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
when you go for all the ADS in the world for AR in Warzone, and not for ammo.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over.
New content.
Please step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Oh, I like that map.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if them... Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley. All right, let's see it. The jump circle?
Max time. It's over for you, Croc.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
It's because they had a game and then they made it super deluxe. So there's new content because the regular game was like shorter, so they made it much longer. And once you make it for earlier in the game, there's a door that says new content in it, and you go through it. It like shows you what's new and stuff, and the narrator's like, "Oh, I wonder what's new." And he's like, "Is that all?" He's like, "Is that all the jumper?"
Wait, there's more. Very good. Yes, I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it.
Because
I'm ready for whatever it is.
Are you? Because I don't think you'll watch no sound exactly.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley?
You watch no sound?
When greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base...
I just told you twice.
For no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's trophies.
Exactly, that's why.
It actually says, "Test trophy, please ignore." What quality
Well,
assurance
that's the appeal of
department
the game.
signed off on this? I'm infuriated
It's
and
the
I'm
narrator.
offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend? Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you... Oh, you don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine. You're a dork anyway, so who cares?
Oh, blast.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Some attachments you can... No, you don't tune the weapon, you tune the attachment. Yeah, I can't tune. Oh my god. Really? No, some attachments are tuned. Maybe it's the gun. No, it's not.
He got the exclusive. Bro, this is literally lit music, bro. That's where I just came from, brother. But it don't take you anywhere.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing.
I know.
He stepped into the newly opened passageway. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death. As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant,
you know why that
Stanley
happened? Because guess what? He never gave up. He never backed down.
His body, killing him instantly.
For the meme, the dream, the stream, and the AA team.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every
This is
path
not
you
back
can
in my
walk
office.
has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start? Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be
About to
free.
break this game.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me.
Oh,
You can
shucks.
still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail.
Turn off your PlayStation. There's no other way to beat this game.
It's telling me to turn off my PlayStation. There's no other way to beat this game.
Walking someone else's path. Stop now, and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose
Alright, I'm
it.
turning off my
Don't let
PlayStation.
time choose for you. Don't let